Writing requires skill and expertise. So when we see children who have mastered that skill, it catches our attention. So in this week's edition of Community Report, we take a look at children writers. They're young and aspiring. They have big dreams ahead of them, but they've started with one. Let's enjoy these young writers, all between the ages of 6 and 12. Welcome to Community Report on Channels Television. I'm Victoria Ido.
Writing is an art created from the imagination of the writer. It's a medium of human communication mixed with a blend of several emotions combined in one writer. Writing requires deep thinking, concentration, and some form of expertise. It also requires a form of structure like speech, vocabulary, grammar, and semantics. That's the major reason when you see young children doing great at writing, it catches your attention. These young writers are creating art with their publications and storytelling ability. With songs, these kids learn what they need to become good writers. They have taken different steps to writing.
How many stages do you have in the writing process? How many stages? We have 5 stages in the writing process. Who can tell me what those stages are? What's the first one? Everybody together? Pre-writing. Pre-writing. That is when you plan, okay? What is the second stage? Drafting. Drafting. So you come up with your first draft. Whatever you're going to do, you come up with your first draft. Yes, there might be errors, there might be grammatical mistakes and all that, but it's fine. It's the first draft. So after drafting, what is the next stage in the writing process? Revising. I can tell you. Revising. Revising. Who can tell me what the revising process stages? What do we do at the revising stage? Yes, what's me?
The revising stage is when you check the errors.
Okay. All right, so we want to add to that.
The revising stage is when you go through your draft.
Okay. You go to your first draft, and what do you do? What do you do with it? You go to your first draft, and you do something with it.
You correct it. You correct the errors.
You have, yes, you do some, you do a bit of correction. You can do some adjustment, you revise to make it better. Okay, that's when you think about it. You want to remove some things, or you want to add some things. If there's some information that is not relevant to your piece, you remove it. But when it is important to your piece, then you add it. Okay? Now, what is the first stage?
Editing.
I can tell you.
Editing.
Editing. That is when you go over your work to correct all the spelling mistakes, to correct all the grammatical mistakes, to make sure you put capital letters at the beginning of your sentence and make your work a better one to lead to the final one called what?
Publishing.
Called what?
Publishing.
That is when you submit your final piece to your teacher or you publish your work. Because at that point you've gone through editing it, correcting it, and then it's as beautiful and as almost perfect as it can be. That is when you can now go and give your teacher, I'm done with my writing. Okay, so let's talk about...
Writing a book starts from reading, as reading is the bedrock of every child's development.
From as early as 0 months, when you have a child, you can start to read books to the child. Reading aloud actually helps, because reading helps a child to develop skills in different areas beyond just literacy. Literacy is key to whatever it is that we do. I often would say literacy is the bedrock to all excellence in all the subjects, to success in all the subjects. But beyond just literacy, reading actually helps a child to have an understanding of things around the child. Reading takes a child to places you've never been to. By virtue of reading, you learn a lot about different places and different people. Also, reading actually helps a child to develop their vocabulary skills. So it is something that we encourage parents to do with their children from when they're very young. You have to be deliberate and intentional about creating reading programs in your home, as that would help your child to succeed in other subjects.
Encouraging a child to write starts from when they're very young. It helps them consolidate their literacy learning by putting their phonics, grammar and reading skills into practice.
Writing is very important for everybody, not just a child. Okay, as an adult, it's a life skill you cannot do without. It's a life skill you have to start cultivating when you're really very young. For us, we encourage children from when they are 2 years old. You know, writing starts from being able to write the formation, being able to form the shapes of the letters of the alphabet, okay? And then if a child is able to know the sounds of different letter sounds in the English language, from that point, the child can start to write. So if I'm teaching a child now, and the child can make the sounds, and can make the sound A, and the child is able to write sat. Okay, if I'm teaching other sounds, and the child is able to put in 3-letter words to form words, the child is learning to write. So what we can do at that point is ask the child to write simple sentences. So from age 2, 3, 4, parents and schools are meant to encourage children to start writing. So if they develop it from that age, it's easier for them to live with it. What I usually tell parents is this: if you make your child know that reading and writing happen to be a part of their life, and they need to get used to it, they'll get used to it. If it forms a routine in their daily life, they go to school, they come back, you give them, you have a special place you've created for them for reading or for writing, and they naturally have to do it every day. It would be as good as eating and sleeping. So they just believe, oh, it's a normal part of my life to read. And by the time they get into that habit, they've been able to form that habit very well. It's very difficult to break it as they grow older. And then it begins to impact their lives, even in other areas beyond the academics.
This book, The First Female Ruler of Ileko, is a book written by a 10-year-old girl, Oluwatofunmi Lawal.
Chapter 1. The Village of Ileko. Long, long ago, when the earth was still young, the palace of Oba Akinjobi laid in the village of Ileko. A magnificent land indeed, full of plentiful harvest and rich in honey. A neat and tidy village it was.
It's usually a struggle sometimes to meet writing goals. That's why having an idea before writing begins is very important.
I wanted to write an African-themed story, something related to Nigeria, my country. So that's how I came up with the title, The First Female Ruler of Ileko. I'm originally from Lagos State, and the Yoruba name of Lagos State is Ileko. So really, I just wanted to write something related to Africa. That's how I came up with this story. The book is about a young girl, Fumilola, and her trials in becoming the first female ruler of Ileko. At first, because she had an elder brother, Prince Kunle, which was supposed to be the next heir to the kingdom, but unfortunately, he was found amongst bad gangs, and he wasn't a good person. So the father had to reconsider, and then he now decided to conduct a trial for his daughter too.
Tekumi, can we go through your book together?
Seeing the gift in her daughter early, Omotola Omole took time to encourage her.
Yeah, actually, she's already writing her books at a very tender age. From the age of 3 to 4, I noticed she was writing on the plain sheets of book, different stories of fairy tales, and after a while, she came to me one day. She said she wanted to publish the books. So I started laughing. I said, so told me, you really like to write, because I keep seeing short stories. So then I used to have a box. I used to put the books in. When she writes, I put it there, and I keep putting it. And she keep telling me that one day I'm going to get a publisher for her. They'll publish a book. We laugh about it like a child's play. But unfortunately for me, though, while I was moving house, I couldn't find the box of those books she had written in the past. So, of course, it's very interesting to know your daughter can write very well. And it was more exciting that she was taken as, her book was taken as the best in the senior category. The challenges that are coming up when we started going back to Jordan Hills for them to edit the story and to bring it up into a form of a book for publishing. So some of the Saturdays we have to wake up, drive all the way from the mainland to the island to Lekki to be with them, drop her over for them to go into the book, do some correction. And it was a lot of work though. It wasn't easy. But there's no success story that doesn't have a tough side of it. But it was the end that justified the means. I was very proud I was part of it.
We meet 12-year-old Demilade Fagbayi. She is the author of The Mischievous Old Woman. Writing for her started from the age of 2 and professionally at the age of 10.
My first book, when I was age 10, but I started writing when I was age 2. I started writing because I loved reading books and I just wanted to write one of my own.
Reading wide helps to improve your vocabulary and also opens your eyes to new places.
Set in a small town in America, and I decided to put it in a foreign country because I wanted the children reading it to take them to other places at a different setting.
The Mischievous Old Woman is a 21-page book about a woman who does not get away with evil.
My first book is about an old woman who always got bullied by the citizens of the town, and then this family just moved in to get away from the troubles of their other city, and then they always lived like mysterious scene. So they saw the old woman planting seeds removing seeds that made the whole plants go brown, just to get revenge on the city, and they wanted to stop it, so she didn't get away with it. They were Mrs. Ella and her 2 daughters, Bella and Stella. The girl's father had just passed away, and they decided to leave where they lived and move to a new town. Bella was a beautiful, confident girl, while Stella was a beautiful, shy girl who normally got bullied by others. Mrs. Ella was a young, hard-working woman who loved her children. On the first day of school, Bella was excited while Stella wished she was a baby so she would have to go to school. When they got to school, Bella rushed out of the car to her new class, making new friends on her way, while Stella took her time. She walked slowly behind 2 girls. She heard them talking about an old woman.
With just a few challenges, Demilade settles with one character.
It took me a while to pick the setting and the storyline, but I finally got it. And I had troubles with settling on one particular character, the setting and the plot, or what the story is about.
A family of writers and lovers of books, her younger brother, 9-year-old Oluwadarasimi Fagbayi, follows behind her.
I attended the Young Authors Club when they taught us how to write a book, and I was inspired to not only be able to read a book and not determine the beginning and the ending, but I will be able to write a book and determine the beginning and the ending.
The decision to write the book came because he has a message to pass.
I started the book as Max being poor, but I ended the book as Max pursuing his dreams, getting a scholarship. Max's parents worked as woodcutters. They got paid 15 naira for 1 log of wood. They went home with only 300 naira on normal days and 600 naira on busy days. Mr. Arowolo was their landlord. He was a very grumpy man, always shouting. Max was always frightened whenever he was around.
I would really encourage them to continue writing, and I'll be proud of them to write more novels, more storybooks. Reason being that I loved writing from when I was young, and I wrote different storybooks. Unfortunately, it never got published. So I'm glad that theirs has got published, and I really want to encourage them to write more.